Welcome back to Good Morning Sri Lanka. In case you just tuned in, we have the Habitat for Humanity here speaking about their organization. And it's a really interesting topic because we have Ramesh, of course, Dinesh, and Lala here, and they were blowing my mind away with how you are helping the communities in Sri Lanka and also in the Asia Pacific. Now, Ramesh, I wanted to ask you, now I understand that how would you be a would-be partner when it comes to the Habitat of Humanity? How the would-be partners selected to be part of this organization or the projects that you do?
Okay, we have two sets of partners. The ones who give us money, and the other set is the one we give houses to.
Okay.
So we convert that cash into houses.
Right.
Tangible houses people can live in, changes their lives. Now, choosing the recipient can come in many forms. Sometimes we have people who save with us. We encourage them to save as a community and we help them to build.
Right.
Sometimes we do a home improvement and then bit by bit over a 5-year period perhaps we transform their living conditions. We also have donors who are particular about who we build for.
Right.
So the donor dictates who we go to.
Right.
So for example, right now in post-conflict Sri Lanka, the major project we're dealing with is the Indian housing project, where the government of India is primarily the donor.
Oh.
And they have set a model in place for selection of recipients.
Right.
A scorecard, we follow that. They then filter that and choose the recipients in each area or each village or each town.
Right.
So that's the big deal going on right now in the East. We're building 4,000 houses.
Wow.
For the next couple of years.
4,000 houses. That's a lot of labor. All right, so how much does a Habitat house cost, if you don't mind me asking?
Typically, we work on a 550 square foot house, and it's about 1,000 rupees a square foot. We could scale down to a partial house, which is 300 square feet. It sounds very small, but some of these people are living in 100 square foot. It's really more than doubling, sometimes trebling their living space. And a 300 square foot house could be upscaled in time to 550 or so.
Right.
What are the major typical house?
What are the other major projects that you're working on apart from this 4,000 house deal?
We're working with an international corporate group which has done 50 odd houses in the east, 50 in the north, and now we're doing repairs and renovation of 250 or 260 houses. Major project. That partner has come into Sri Lanka with over $1 million.
Oh wow, that's a lot of money.
And a lot of families.
A lot of people getting touched, a lot of families, a lot of lives being transformed.
Right. Speaking of which, how you get the word across to the everyday family to donate, or some person to kind of invest or donate to these houses being made. How does this work? I understand you have brand ambassadors in each country, if I'm correct.
Not really in each country, but in some countries there are more than one celebrity ambassadors.
Right.
It actually differs because in a certain country, especially in Asia Pacific, our countries are not present, our projects are not always the same as in every country, so our fundraising efforts are not the same as well. And when we engage corporates or local organizations or even individuals, they're not always the same across the board. But what we do is our main fundraising activity in Asia Pacific, it's mostly driven by corporate engagement, corporate sponsorship, or there are some countries who also focus on government partnerships, just like what's happening here in Sri Lanka or in Philippines, for example, where there was a major disaster that just happened recently, and most of the funding for Habitat to build safe, decent homes to families affected by disaster is provided by the government. So in some cases, we always work with corporates, or there would be funding from international corporations specifically for certain countries where they would have good presence. So it's not across the board. We do repeated.
But we do have brand ambassadors. We've got Jet Li, we've got John Abraham.
No way.
We got Jackie Fernandez. And in Sri Lanka, we have a couple more. Actually, we have 3 brand ambassadors in Sri Lanka.
That's brilliant.
There's Tony Veerasinghe, who's a corporate icon.
Of course.
We have Jackie Fernandez, who's more in Bollywood than in Colombo, but it's good to have her. It was through her intervention that IFA partnered with Habitat some time ago. We built a whole village virtually in the east. And we also have Otara Gunavodna.
Speaking of which, I understand that we had an interview that was taken just a few hours, or actually just a few minutes ago, I believe, because it's still the morning. And it's not like this show is pre-recorded or anything, am I right? Of course not. Right now we have a quick interview with Atara and her thoughts on the Habitat for Humanity. Let's check this out and we'll be back with more Good Morning Sri Lanka.
We have the Goodwill Ambassador of Habitat for Humanity Sri Lanka, Ms. Otara. So welcome to the show, Ms. Otara. How have you been?
Good, thanks.
Would like to start the show with a question of your own saying. To be successful, one has to achieve a balance between business sensibility and social responsibility. I'd like to hear you in brief about your own saying.
Yes, I mean from the day I started, my business, I've always believed in doing both, and from day one I always contributed something towards some charity or some foundation or work together with other organizations, and it's something I've continued throughout my time in business and over the years, and it's just something I strongly believe in, and I strongly believe in doing more and more of as the years go on.
It has been 5 years that you have joined hands with Habitat for Humanity Sri Lanka. How good you feel about your contribution to the organization Habitat for Humanity Sri Lanka as well as to the Sri Lankan society?
I think through Habitat there's so much good that you can do. As an individual, and especially when you're busy and you're running a business, it's difficult to organize many things of what you want to do to help people. But with an organization like Habitat, it's very easy to do that because they make it possible for you to be able to continue your life in business, but then also to contribute a lot through to help people and build houses because of the structure and the programs they have. And to me it's been really good to be involved with Habitat, and it's so good to help so many people and give them houses, and to be able to do it without a lot of effort from where it's time wise. I mean, as when you're in business, time is quite a challenge. So that is really, to me, has been one of the perfect balances together with Habitat, and to be able to contribute and to be able to manage my business as well.
So it has been more than a half decade that you have joined hands with Habitat Sri Lanka. You have been supporting the cause to end the poverty housing situation here in the country. What inspired you to join Habitat's cause?
I actually started working with Habitat from the tsunami, when we decided to build houses for people who lost their houses during the tsunami, and it was at that time that we found Habitat and worked with Habitat together to build the houses. And from that day on, it has been it was a great pleasure to work with Habitat at that time, and I felt I could contribute a lot to what they were doing, and to help Habitat, as well as for them to help me achieve what I would like to achieve with helping people, and also for my organization as a whole to be involved with doing something good for the community that we live in.
You have worked in the fields, you have seen the people who are homeless, you have get involved in different bills. How do you feel about it? What's the attachment?
You can't get a better feeling, but really the importance is how good it feels to the people who are getting a house finally. I've been in the build in Thailand, with Jimmy Carter and that build as well as a few builds in Sri Lanka, plus a few builds that our company has done and I have done individually. And it's really is an experience that people should be involved in and should experience in their lifetime, I feel.
The moment of dedicating the home to the homeless, the emotion, the attachments, it's giving a life, isn't it?
Yes, it is, definitely, and there's no greater satisfaction, and however much you do in your day-to-day life, and you're busy with all the business things that interest people, and all your other the life of how everyone leads it. It's really something very, very special to be able to give somebody who doesn't have a house a home a home finally.
You mobilize the volunteers from your organizations to in different bills, and even while constructing home of home partners. How do you feel about it? I mean to say that how important it is to promote volunteerism among the staffs.
I definitely think it's something that any organization should experience, and I think once it's done, people will realize the benefit of it, and how good it is to be involved in it, and also that it's easy to do with Habitat. It's something, like I said before, that they make it easy for an organization to be part of doing something good and contributing to the society that we live in, and that we have run our businesses in.
In fact, there is a huge need of addressing the poverty housing situation in the country. Do you think that other corporate organizations should join hand with Habitat for Humanity Sri Lanka to support its cause?
I think for an organization, it's very important for them also to understand the importance of giving, the importance of it not being just about us or our business or our profits. It's important as an organization, and for everyone in the organization to learn how to share, how to give. I think it helps the organization, it helps the individual, and of course, in the meantime, you help many people who don't have a lot. At least to be able to give them a start in life, and it's been a great benefit for the people in my company that has been able to participate in this, and we would like to be involved in it going forward as well.
What message would you like to give to those corporate organizations or let's say business leaders who wants to join Habitat for Humanity Sri Lanka, or who wants to support the cause that you are supporting for?
Yes, I mean, I think still 40% of Sri Lanka still lives in poverty, and I think there's a lot we can all do together to help to change that, and every little bit helps, and definitely it is something that that I recommend, and I feel is good to do, and I know that there'll be great benefits to the organization as a whole, and also to the people that you help in the meantime, and the country.
Finally, what is your future plan to tie up with a different work with Habitat for Humanity Sri Lanka to end poverty housing situation in Sri Lanka?
Yes, I mean, obviously we'd like to do more. I mean, as the years and months go on, you'd like to do more and more to be able to to help people, and to most of all to help them get a good start in life, and to be able to move forward, which I think is really important.
Thank you for your valuable time, and thank you for your precious words.